back to the channel. If you tuned in last time, you know we built a little tone cube type monitor. We made ours two-way though, so it's kind of hip and cool. It is a 4-inch two-way made from readily accessible parts. We added an amplifier module that has an analog devices chip in it, a DSP chip. So it's fully programmable. We can do EQ, crossover, we can do limiting, delay, there's bass enhancement, all kinds of things that goes by way of Sigma Studio, which is the programming software for the analog devices chips. Super excited about this. This is kind of a way cool project. I've been working on this for a while and finally had an opportunity to really dig in and get it done and get it built. And now we're going to get it tuned. Smart Live running here. Also on this computer I've got Room EQ Wizard and the new open sound meter. So we'll try that one too, see what gets us the best results. And running in this computer over here, I've got Analog Devices Sigma Studio, and this is the software we use to program the DSP. So basically our setup is we've got a reference mic right here, our speaker on the bench. You have to worry about reflections like a lot when you're measuring, because what you'll have is you'll have something that arrives in this amount of time and then there'll be another thing right behind it, and that'll throw off your readings on your measurements. So one way around that is to make sure that the microphone is the closest thing, so that the first thing it's going to hear is the speaker, and then everything after that will be reflections. And if you're in a kind of reflective space, you can work at a low volume. Nothing wrong with that. Work at a low volume, it'll kind of minimize it. The less you excite the room, the less you'll be dealing with low frequencies building up and throwing off your readings. So, and that's kind of how I roll. This room's not treated very well. If it gets critical, usually try to take it outside on a calm day. That always works good. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll throw in some pink noise, and from there we'll start taking some initial measurements and figuring out where we want the crossover to be. All right, so here we're looking at just the high frequency, just the tweeter. And let me run it full bandwidth here. You can see that about 2K is about all it wants to do. That's as low as it wants to go. You can maybe fudge it a little bit lower. It's a 3/4 inch dome. It's probably not going to want to do that. So I'm going to set our target at trying to maintain about a 2K crossover point. We want to get as much as we can centered in that driver. So we'll shoot for that. So we'll run this up to 2K. See what it looks like on our graph. Doesn't look too bad. All right, so from here, kick that off. Let's make sure our low frequency driver is going to get us to where we need to be. Make sure it's going to get us to 2K as well. It easily will. It's got a funky spike up around 8K, which is crazy. Is what it is. We'll filter that out. So we're going to get rid of all of this. And we want this driver to just work up to about 2K. I'm going to check and see how our time alignment between the two drivers is, and I'm going to do that by flipping the phase on the LF driver. Watch what happens. Watch right around that crossover point. So it's basically telling us that it prefers being in phase. So our time alignment's probably pretty good. From here, we'll start working on some basic EQing, but it looks pretty good so far. It's pretty flat, so we'll see what we get from here.